As I said in my previous video, the ancient Middle East was all black, but the modern Middle East is a melting pot. For example, look at these children. They are from Minab city of Hormozgan province of Iran. Almost all of the inhabitants of that populous city look like these men. They are either black or mulatto. These guys are from Tabriz city of East Azerbaijan province of Iran. And as you can see, some of them can pass as white, like this guy and this guy. These people are Turks and speak a Turkic language called Azeri. In fact, most of the white-looking Iranians are of Turkic ancestry, like this man, who is of Qajar descent. But many of them nowadays claim to be Persian. The rest of Iranians mostly seem to be of mixed ancestry and to have been descended from mixed ancestors, like these guys who are from Kerman province. As you can see, they are neither white nor black, but they may claim that they are white or consider themselves as white because they don't know that they come from mixed ancestors. Unlike the people of Latin America who know that they are mulatto or quadroons, etc. In that video, a person claimed that the ancient Middle Eastern people were not black, but they looked like me. And when I asked them to show me the photos of the ancient Middle Eastern statues and reliefs that looked like me, they didn't reply. According to white supremacists, the so-called true Negroes, as they claim, have prominent forehead, non-prominent white nose, and prognatic jaw. According to them, if a black person doesn't have these traits, they are not truly black. According to them, only these guys can be considered black, and the rest of the so-called black people are not truly black. At the same time that they say people like this man are the true Negroes, they deny the blackness of the Olmecs, and they seem to have trouble acknowledging that the Olmecs were of the so-called Negroid origin. They actually have a theory which says the Olmecs were Nordic, like this guy, not a people like this Aboriginal girl from Australia. But in reality, the so-called sub-Saharan Africans are by far the most diverse people on earth. For example, look at this person. He clearly can grow hair on his head and on his face, but he has decided to shave it. And this is his profile. As you can see, he doesn't have prominent forehead, he does have prominent nose, and he doesn't have prognatism. This person is also from Nigeria originally. As you can see, he doesn't have the traits of the so-called true Negroes either. This person is also from the so-called sub-Saharan Africa. Please remember this hairstyle. So is this person. And this one. According to white supremacists, these people are not black. They come from white ancestors. Why? Because they can grow hair and they have the so-called Caucasian features. Therefore, according to the white supremacists, these people are not truly black. And they say just because this person can grow a beard, he is not black. This person is probably an Aryan from Kenya in the eyes of the white supremacists because he can grow beard. It seems that white people are all over Africa. This white man is from Sierra Leone originally, and as you can see, he has a profile of a so-called Caucasian. He doesn't have a prominent forehead, he does have prominent nose, and he doesn't have prognatism. Therefore, according to white supremacists, he is not a true Negro. This man is from Nigeria originally, from South Sudan, from South Africa. Even outside of Africa, there are many black people who have supposedly sub-Saharan African origin. This man is from America. This one is from Jamaica. This one is from America. Look at this person who is from Papua New Guinea. He has abundant hair on his head and abundant hair on his face. But he doesn't have the traits of the so-called true Negroes. This person is from Fiji, from Papua New Guinea. According to white people, just because this person has a so-called hooked nose, therefore he must have white ancestry. And these people are the Australian Aborigines, and as you can see, they can grow abundant beard. Therefore, white people may claim that these people are originally of European ancestry. And this person is way darker than many of the so-called sub-Saharan Africans, but he is not considered a black person by white supremacists just because he's not from the so-called sub-Saharan Africa. These girls are Tamirs of India. This is a Dravidian family from India. These people are all black, but they are not from the so-called sub-Saharan Africa. So according to that person, we can assume that the first humans who were dark-skinned could reach themselves to the remotest parts of Earth, like Fiji, Australia, Papua New Guinea, but they couldn't walk into the so-called Middle East, which is next to Africa. So let's see if that's true. This scene is a depiction of a battle between Elamites and Assyrians. It's a common fact among Iranian historians that Elamites were a black people. Now compare the profile of Elamites to that of the Assyrians. As you can see, Elamites have the same profile as the Assyrians. They have the same nose, the same lips, and the same hair texture. And this is the aftermath of that battle, which shows that Elamites lost the battle. Do you remember the hairstyle I wanted you to remember? Compare that to the hairstyle of the Elamites. According to this scene, we can find out that not all all Elamites had beard. Many of them were beardless. And you can here compare the profile of Elamites to that of Assyrians. They are the same. Now compare the modern black people to the Assyrian and Elamite reliefs. If the Elamites were black people, why should we assume that the Assyrians were not a black people? Because they both had the same profile in the Assyrian reliefs. If you doubt that the ancient Assyrians were also a black people, look at this authentic relief of the ancient Assyrian king Esarhaddon. As you can clearly see, he had wide nose, big lips, and dreadlocked beard and dreadlocked hair. He has the profile of a black man, a so-called true Negro. And this is a scene depicting a battle between Arabs and Assyrians. Arabs are the ones riding the camel, and Assyrians are the ones chasing them. From this scene we can find out that unlike the modern so-called Arabs, the original Arabs didn't use to cover themselves from head to toe, and they used to go around in the hot desert of the Middle East bare-chested. Look at this person. This man looks like an old Rasta from Jamaica. And you can see Arabs here playing music. They have dreadlocks. What about Medes? According to the ancient Assyrian reliefs, Medes look like this man. And this was a Mede. And he has the profile of an Elamite. The same hairstyle, the same nose, the same lips, the same nappy beard. And these are the original Hebrews. So according to this relief, the original Hebrews were also a nappy-haired, nappy-bearded people. What about Persians? As you can see, they had curly hair, curly beard, rings in their ears, and a robe around their head. Were they a black people too? This is said to be a statue of Darius III. This wall painting was found in Susa and now is being kept in Pergamon Museum of Berlin. As you can see, these so-called immortal guards of Darius have the same profile as the non-painted Persian soldiers in Persepolis. They have the same curly hair, the same curly beard, and even the same costume as the non-painted Persian reliefs in Persepolis. But here they are painted and they have a black color. The ancient Persians were a very black people. Look at their hands. Look at their feet. And this relief, known as the Darius Sphinxes, is being kept in Louvre Museum. According to these wall paintings, we have to say that Persians were also a black people. They had the same profile as the Assyrians, as the Medes, as the Elamites. It seems that all these supposedly different nations were all the same and were all from the same race. Now compare these black Americans to the reliefs of the ancient Persians, ancient Assyrians, and ancient Elamites and Medes. This person looks 100% like an ancient Persian soldier. His hairstyle, his beard, his nose, his eyebrow, his costume match those of the ancient Persians depicted in Persepolis. This person here looks nothing like the ancient Persians. But this person looks 100% like the ancient Persian soldiers. And then there are these whitewashed wall paintings. This is a copy of the first wall painting in Susa. As you can see, this person has a neck, half of it black, the other half white. His hands are black. This person has a yellow face, black hands, and the other ones are as ridiculous as them too. For example, look at this person. Do you really think this is how the original wall painting used to look like before they whitewash it? I don't think so. This looks very strange. Let's zoom in on this one. As you can see, the outer layer of the brick on which this relief was painted has been peeled off. Look at the edges of this remained part of the outer layer of the face of this soldier. As you can see, now the color of this part is the same as the color of the non-painted brick. This means that they peeled off the original color of this relief, and that's why it now looks so strange. You can even see the edges of the original part, and here you see a black color remained. Seems they forgot to remove this part too and have left this part for us to see how stupid and deceitful they were. There are actually many people that use this relief to prove that the ancient Persians were Nordic people. They claim that the ancient Persians had blonde hair. They don't know that this part was whitewashed or misreconstructed by the white supremacists. And this is said to be a copy of the relief of Cyrus the Great that is now in Persepolis. This is a copy of it. Many believe that these lines are of his helmet, but in reality these are of his hairstyle, nowadays known as cornrows. The lines are of his hairstyle, not his helmet. Just like the bust of this person that has the hairstyle of cornrows. And then there are these fake, ridiculous paintings that are being used by white supremacists to claim the ancient Persians as white people. These very fresh-looking paintings with unknown origin are now used as proof and evidence to back up the theory that the ancient Persians were a white people. How pathetic. And then there is this, I don't know how to describe this nonsense. There are actually many people that say the ancient Persians were white, and when we want them evidence to prove to back up their claim, they refer us to this nonsense. Do you really think that this BS is from 2,500 years ago? Really? And this is how a white supremacist thinks of the ancient Persians. According to white people, everybody from everywhere was a white person, even if they were in Africa or the Middle East. And these people are in charge of writing history for us. And we wonder why they have depicted everybody in history as a white person. Because they are in charge of writing history. They have whitewashed everybody in history. And this scene is believed to be a battle between Greeks and Persians. It's called Alexander Mosaic, but in reality, none of the people here are Greek or Persian. The army at the left, this one, is a Roman army, and the army at the right is of the Scythians of the Central Asia. And as you can see, they are not black, and they don't have curly hair, and they don't have the same costumes of the ancient Persians. These people are not Persian. And these coins are from Seleucid era and have nothing to do with the ancient Persians. And this flower painting is also from Seleucid era. So is this wall painting, non-related to the ancient Persians. And you have these very fresh-looking reliefs, statues, sphinxes that are being said to be of the ancient Middle East. But it's very evident these are all fake, created in recent centuries in order to create the illusion that we modern inhabitants of this region are descended from the ancient inhabitants of this region. These things are all fake and forgeries. Now let's take a look at one of the few authentic reliefs of the ancient Middle East. This is how an authentic, real, actual, and original relief has to look like. This person is said to be Isar Haddon, the famous Assyrian king. Let's have a comparison here and compare the profile of this Assyrian king to the profile of a Rasta man, and then compare them against the profile of the current leader of Iran, who is a Turk. The Rasta has the same nose as the Assyrian king. These two have the same forehead. the same beard, and they have the same profile. The profile of the Assyrian king matches the profile of the Rastaman. Do you see any similarity between these two? I don't see any. The phenotypes of this person look nothing like those of this person. But these two are the same. Look at them. Look at the nose and compare them. I always wondered what this part of the Persian sphinxes in Persepolis was until I saw this Rastaman. And now the problem is solved. Compare this part to this part and this part to this part. Wow. Another fake statue created to give us the illusion that we are the descendants of the ancient Assyrians, Persians, etc. Another white fantasy. The ancient inhabitants of the Middle East had a custom of having a dagger under their belt, like this ancient Persian man. As you can see, he has a dagger under his belt. This custom is now being practiced by the dark-skinned population of the Middle East, people of Yemen, Oman, and many of the Eastern African tribes. We, the modern inhabitants of this region, are mostly descended from many recently civilized nomadic tribes which came to this region in recent centuries. There are still many nomadic people roaming this once used to be the cradle of civilization. The ancient Middle East was all black, and all of the ancient Middle Eastern people were black.